If breaking up is hard to do, it shouldn't compromise public safety. That's why an ugly split between Deerfield Beach and Broward Sheriff's Office is riveting attention on how policing is done in smaller cities. After more than 3 decades, the city is ending its contract with BSO and now threatening lawsuits over the sheriff's response. Deerfield Beach Mayor Todd Drosky here with us to get all into that. And we did invite, incidentally, Broward Sheriff Greg Toney to join us, though he declined. So set this, welcome, by the way.
Thank you. Good morning.
You.
Thank you for having me.
So why change? Why not stay with BSO?
Let me put it in context. The city used the vendor for Broward Sheriff's Office for many years for its public safety.
35 years.
Yes, correct. And the way that it worked is every year we would get a letter from the sheriff's office telling us what our number for the next fiscal year would be. The contract that we have provides for a 5% increase per year. Last year, the sheriff wanted a 12% increase. That 7% delta actually equates to like $7.5 million new dollars in tax revenue we would have to come up with.
So this is financial. You want to save money.
We want control that was more so than the dollars. But when we told the sheriff no, that we did not want to pay the 12% to stick to the 5% in the contract, he was the one that canceled the Deerfield Beach contract. We did not cancel it. The sheriff canceled our contract. And that's when we went out to look to say, can we do this on our own? And we determined that we could.
So the contract as it stands now is still technically current, right? The contract goes through next September. Did I read that right?
We're in the transition phase starting October 1 last year, 2025, through September 30, 2027. We're in a 2-year transition window.
Okay, but for all intents and purposes, BSO is still providing services through September 2027.
Yes, they're contractually obligated to provide those services.
So is there an issue with the services that they said that they would provide for the next year?
There's no issue with the services, but the sheriff took it upon himself to send out a mailer, which I brought with me today, to the residents saying that beginning August 1st, 2026, this year, that he was going to start withdrawing safety from our city. And that is not what the contract says, and I'm not going to mess around with public safety in my city.
So why would he be doing that if it's against the contract? Have you spoken to him at all prior to the legal launchings? Did you talk to him, negotiate with him at any point?
We tried to negotiate, but it was not successful. And so as a result, we're in the 2-year transition window. So it's up to the city to present the sheriff with the transition plan, which we have done. But apparently he doesn't like it and unilaterally wants to change it on his own, which has put us in the spot that we're in.
When in this couple, Deerfield Beach is the audience for this topic, but everyone in South Florida where government contracts out with public safety or not, should really be looking at this dynamic. What is right now, who is caring and for Deerfield Beach residents and keeping them safe and answering 911 and showing up to the door when they're called? Who is that?
Today, the Broward Sheriff's Office is doing that, and they're contractually obligated to do that through September 30, 2027, when the turnkey happens, when we create our own public safety departments.
And you also have Deerfield Beach has hired or appointed someone to, do the transition or work alongside with Broward sheriffs? How is that happening?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a transition manager that we have, and we also recently appointed a transitional fire chief and a transitional police chief as well.
So the sheriff has said publicly that he doesn't think Deerfield Beach has the money or the expertise to handle what Broward handles now. How do you respond to that?
I say stop fear-mongering our residents that we can do this. A lot of the other cities in Broward County have their own police and fire departments. The Fort Lauderdale, of the top 12 by population size cities in Broward County, they have their own police and fire departments. Deerfield Beach is the only one that doesn't. So it's about time that we do, and we can do it. If the other cities can do it, Deerfield Beach absolutely can do it.
Have you mapped out the budget, and what will your budget look like, and how will that be different from BSO's budget under this contract?
We're doing our own budget right now, but I mean, the estimates that are coming in is going to be far less than BSO because we have control over the costs. Right now, the costs that we have with BSO are passed through. So we pay them, we get a bill, and we have to pay it. Now we have control over those costs, and we can do it cheaper than BSO.
What will trip your decision to file a lawsuit? Now, right now, it's a threat, a resolution to do it if you need to. What's that threshold?
I'm not messing around with public safety. I mean, it's not a cliche that health, safety, and welfare is the paramount importance of municipal government. And that's absolutely what I'm going to continue to do in Deerfield Beach. If the sheriff continues to threaten to withdraw that public safety from my city earlier than what the contract provides for, then a lawsuit may be necessary.
The pamphlet that he's sending out, this goes to Deerfield Beach residents. What have your constituents told you about that, if anything?
They're kind of incensed about it, to be honest with you, because everyone is excited to have our own police and fire departments back. So now that the decision has been made, that ship has sailed to now kind of meddle in our affairs, the residents aren't very happy about that.
We will be watching this. I hope that Sheriff Greg Toney, if you're listening, we would love to have you on. We would love to hear that because there's always a lot of sides to every story. Mayor, it's great to have you at the table.
Absolutely.
Keep us in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course.